Okay. Okay, so we are going to start. Yeah. Okay, so welcome to another week of Experience Zohar, right over here from the holy city of Safed of Tzfat, where we are literally experiencing Zohar, not just in the text, but in the actual vicinity of being close to the site of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Tonight happens to be an extra special evening because it is the Yortzeit, it is the anniversary of the death, it's called a Hilulah in the words of the Zohar, of Moshe Rabbeinu. So it is the anniversary of his death, but it's also the anniversary of his birth. It says about Moshe that he died on the same day that he was born on, and that is, of course, very significant because it teaches us that he lived a perfect life. He lived a life that was absolutely connected and merged with the infinite, with the divine. So that's extra special for us as we learn the Zohar and as we experience the Zohar, because it's brought down in books that Rabbi Shimon was actually a and although we don't know where Moshe is buried, we do know where Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is buried. So many people have the custom of visiting the tomb of the holy Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Zalman, if you could please mute yourself, that'd be great.
Yes, sir.
So many people have that custom of visiting the tomb of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai on this day of Zayin Adar, the 7th day of Adar. Now, what we're going to discuss today is a portion of the Zohar, Parsha Tetzaveh. This week's portion is Parsha Tetzaveh, which means to command. And it's very interesting to note that it's the only Parsha, it's the only Torah portion that does not have Moshe's name in it. Since Moshe was born, up until Moshe dies, basically till the rest of the Torah portions, Moshe's name is mentioned, except for this week's reading, which leaves out the name of Moshe Rabbeinu, which is very interesting because Moshe Rabbeinu died on this day, and some people say it's because he died on this day, so therefore his name was omitted. The explanation of that is much deeper, which hopefully we'll get to at the end of today's class. So what we're going to discuss today is a portion of the Zohar which doesn't directly deal with the beginning of the verses of the text. And the text is right there in front of you. As you see over here, you see it says Live Kabbalah Experience Zohar. And over here we have a tangent. Sometimes happens in the Zohar that the Zohar goes off on one tangent to another tangent, and it discusses various things that connect somehow to the Parsha. So the reason why this next piece is connected to the Parsha, because it has to do with commanding, with connecting. And as we're going to see, that the esoteric value of this is quite, and practical value of this is quite significant. So let's have a look at this text. Okay. Rabbi Elazar opened the discussion, and Rabbi Elazar is, of course, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai's son. His name was Rabbi Elazar Bar Shimon, and together he was in a cave with his father for a period of 13 years. He spent in a cave, removed from society, removed from the rest of humanity, and they were involved just in the esoteric learning and delving into the depths of the secrets of the universe. So Rabbi Lazar opens up, and I'm going to read this in Hebrew, and I'm going to translate it in English. So you have the Hebrew in front of you. Rabbi Lazar opened up and he said, and so as we mentioned a couple of times in the classes, that whenever it says opened up, we know that it means that the channels of spirituality were opened up by the teachings, whichever rabbi in the Zohar discusses. So Rabbi Lazar opens up and he says, Gam tzipor matzabait, that a bird has found a home. Udror kainla, and a dror means a sparrow bird had found a nest for herself. Asher shata et mizbechotecha, that she may lay her young. And this is a verse written by King David in Psalms. So once again, so it says even the sparrows found a home, and the swallow, which is in Hebrew a dror, found a nest for herself where she may lay her young. And the verse continues, your altars, etc. That's the verse in Tehillim, in Psalms. So Rabbi Lazar continues, and he quotes, even the sparrow has found a home. These are birds of the sky. That there's birds that are called sparrow, that they fly up in the sky, removed from civilization. However, some of them nest outside and some of them nest in an abode, the dwelling of man. Like the swallow, in other words, the word for that is the dror. That is a bird that places its nest in the home of any man and has no fear. So Rabbi Lazar is making a distinction between essentially regular birds and the swallow bird, which are called the dror, the bird which is called dror. And he continues. So why is it called a dror? Why does it have that name? Because why does everyone call it dror? What is dror? Dror is freedom. As it is written, and proclaim liberty. We read this in the book of Vayikra, specifically in Parsha Bahar. It's called over there when it talks about freedom, and specifically it talks about the freedom of the land. So, and it talks about the freedom of the land, specifically the freedom which is the association. How's it working here? It's awesome.
Yeah, we're going to have to switch back to the landline, Amichai. Yaakov is there to switch you.
But which was the address?
What?
What software is it? What's the address for the software?
For the Zoom?
Yeah, just Zoom?
No, it's just on my email.
Just go in, just Zoom.
I didn't invite over there.
You guys need my help in anything?
We're getting there. 1 second.
Okay. Your patience. Your patience.
What is it? What is it?
Okay. No.
That's it. What was that? You're there, no? No, but that's a Google. No, that's just a calendar. Tom, man, how do we connect? You done this one, right?
What do you need to know?
How do we connect the computer?
To what? To Zoom?
Yeah.
Just you have the link there. You have the link there, and you just go into Zoom. Click to open the application for Zoom, and I'll give you the 9-digit code, and you're in
Where? Okay, that's it.
on the desktop. Tell me when you're ready for the number.
Okay. We apologize. Did you lose it? You're gonna use Zoom here on the computer?
It's a story, guys. You got it?
No, we're working on it. 1 second. Get that right.
Maybe I have to log out of here.
Here.
So log out.
Here.
So let us continue. So we're talking about the bird called the Dror bird. And we learned that this Dror bird specifically is different than all other birds. All other birds usually live in nests. Zaman, if you could mute yourself, please. All of the birds live in nests, but the dror bird is able to live even in homes, regular homes. And for some reason, the Zohar tells us that this bird nests in the house and has its young. So it lives inside of the house and has its young in there. It comes from the word, dror comes from the etymology. I'm just gonna write that. I'm just gonna write that down for a second. The etymology of that is dar. Dar means to live. Well, and the dror bird, if we spell it with another ration there, so then that's an extra level of dwelling that it does. And it says that it's able to dwell not just in nests, but even to dwell inside of a home. And once again, it dwells in the home for a period of time of 50 days. And after 50 days, it separates from its young, and the young go on their way, and they're, so to speak, on their own. Okay, so what does this have to do with anything? And what has this have to do with our Parsha, and what does it have to do with us in our lives? So let's continue with the second paragraph that is in front of you. And it says, "Come and behold, it is written, you shall sanctify the 50th year and proclaim liberty throughout all land." And I'm going to read that in the words of the Zohar. Tachazi, come and see. Maktiv, what does it say? V'kidashtem mishnat achamishim shana, that you shall sanctify the 50th year and you shall call liberty upon the land. Mehacha nafku cher l'chula. From here, all liberty emerges. Uvegin de nafka minei cheru, and because from this level of 50, liberty emerges. Oraita de nafkat minei ikri cheru. It was because of that the Torah stemmed from this place of 50, from the place of liberty. So let's discuss that for a moment. What does that mean, the place of 50 and the place of liberty? Before we go on to the next few words in the Zohar, which are very important, let's discuss what the concept of 50 is. So we know that there's a period of time after the Jewish people left Egypt that they spent wandering in the desert. Between the time of leaving Egypt and reaching Mount Sinai, which is actually the point of why God took them out of Egypt, is in order to receive the Torah, they spent a period of time of 50 days. And it says, the Torah tells us that they spent 49 days counting, and the 49 days are a process which we call Sfirat Omer, the counting of the Omer, where the Jewish people counted themselves in a way that they removed themselves out of impurity to a level of connectiveness to the Torah. Okay, I see myself twice. So I'm going to be Yaakov Leiter for now. Or Yaakov is going to be me. Okay, Shalom Aleichem. Okay, so you know what, Yaakov? Let's switch. It is close to Purim, so we could.
You can keep your iPad.
Not the who.
Okay, perfect.
Turn off the microphone on the iPad.
9 days at the.
Sorry, Rabbi, I don't hear you. I don't hear anything.
Okay. 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 We're definitely in the Purim spirit today. Sorry about this. Okay. Okay. So the 50th level is associated with crown and associated with superconscious, and it's associated with what is above humanly possible to do. So in other words, we spent 49 days, which essentially is 7 times 7, which is the perfection of the self, in order to reach, finally, after reaching the perfection of the self, to reach the connection to this place of the giving of the Torah, which is the place of freedom. So this place of freedom is the source of the giving of the Torah, and that is associated with crown. Now, why is that? So let's take a look at the next few words. Valda ktiv, and on this it says charut al haluchot. It says that it was engraved al haluchot, on the tablets. That the tablets had the engraving of the words of God. That the 10 Commandments were engraved on the tablets. So the word for engraving in Hebrew is charut. But it is also, it's the same etymology, the same word as cherut, as freedom. And the question is, what's the connection between engraving and freedom? So if we ask ourselves that question, what is the connection between engraving, where the Torah tells us that the word of God was engraved upon the tablets, and at the same time it has the meaning of freedom? What is the connection between the two? So essentially, the Talmud tells us that there is no greater freedom than one who is connected to Torah. And the word for that is that you have ein lecha bein chorin, you have nobody who's more free than somebody who is connected to the edicts, to the truths of Torah. And the question is why? What is the connection between the two? So for that, we have to understand what the essence of Torah truly is. And as we learned a couple of weeks ago in the portion of Yitro, we discussed that Torah is not just a history book. It's not just something that is stories or even laws. It is essentially a connection between heaven and earth, which is what happened when God gave the Torah to the Jewish people. He merged heaven, he merged spirituality with physicality. The two were unified to become one. So this unification of going beyond physicality, and then even going beyond spirituality, which many people think that spirituality is the highest level, but spirituality is also limited. Spirituality is something which is above me. A person could feel spiritual, a person could be uplifted by spirituality, but it's not true. It's not truly beyond oneself. Going beyond oneself is going beyond all levels and all constrictions, including the constriction of spirituality. And that is the source of Torah. The source of Torah is the merging of heaven and earth. And essentially what that is it means that one is able to take something which is physical and it could have the imbued unity, imbued spirituality of God, when the two of them are one, they form a complete connection to godliness. So when somebody is involved with the study of Torah, so then what occurs? So then the person is no longer just me and something else. In other words, spirituality or a study of something, me and something else. It is when a person is engraved that godliness is one with the person. So then godliness is essentially the essence of the person, and that's the essence of freedom, of true freedom. And the Zohar calls it Cherut, it's the place of the Jubilee. Vida Oraita, and this is the Torah, the Ikri Cherut. The Torah is called freedom. Deha ma de apik yoma da ilah Ikri Cherut. That day is supernal freedom because there is upper freedom and lower freedom. Meaning, Hey, which is Bina, and lower Hey, which is Malchut. Okay, so I would like to just pause here for a second. I'm going to upload a couple of pictures over here. Okay, so in front of you, you see the God's name. Okay, it's called the Yud K. We don't want to pronounce that the Hey because it's actually pronouncing God's name, and we're not supposed to use God's name unless it's for the sake of actually drawing down holiness, which is in a mitzvah or learning Torah. So we call it Yud K and Vav K. And the Yud K Vav K is called the Tetragrammaton, and each one of the four letters of God's name is associated with a sphirot, with God's emanations. So let's have a look. So we're going to start off from below to above. So we start off with, and the reason I would like to go that way because that's how we connect to godliness, from below to above. From below. We start off with Malchut means kingship, and it is almost the opening. It is the realm which is most associated with this world, with the confines of this world. It's the realm of kingship, and we know that a king, although a king is extremely royal and supreme and higher than the rest of the people, but everybody in a kingdom has a connection to the king. So too, everybody in the world has a connection to Malchut because we are in God's kingdom, right? So we start off with Malchut, and that's associated with essentially with the totality of the person. Then we climb up and we have the Vav, which is called it's called Zer Anpin. It's actually called the small face, and it's associated with the midot. It's associated with the emotional attributes. And we start off the attributes, and we discussed this 2 weeks ago in the class. We discussed that Zer Anpin are Chesed, which is benevolence, Gvura, discipline, Tiferet is harmony, Netzach is fortitude, Hod is humility, Yesod is bonding. So that's the Vav. Above that, we have the letter Hey. So now beyond that, we go to the realm of the intellect. So up until now, we were in the realm of and entering to the realm of the divine, which is Malchut. And then we go above that. Malchut is more concrete. Vav is more emotional. And we go beyond that to the realm of the intellectual, and we go to Bina. Bina is associated with intuition or understanding. Above that, we have the Yud. We have the letter Yud, which is associated with intelligence. How I like to see it as really intelligence. And beyond that, we have because the scripture over here that you see is called Ashuri scripture. So it's actually, and this is the scripture which the Torah, which the alphabet, which the words of the Torah are written with. So they actually have crowns. Each letter has a certain crown above it, and the crown for the letter Yud, you could see it a bit over there in this picture. The crown is the top of it is associated with keter, with crown, and that is the realm of the superconscious. So now let's take that we just went from above to below. Let's just go almost from below to above. Let's go from above to below. So we start off with the superconscious, and we go to intelligence, and we go to understanding, and then we go to our emotions. That's how we actually process something. It starts off from the superconscious, it goes to the intelligence, and then it goes to our understanding, and then it goes to our emotions, and then it goes to malchut, which is the either speech or the concrete. Now, what is the similarity between the two hays? So the two hays must have a similarity because they're the same letter. So the answer is they do. What is this? What is the connection between bina, understanding, and malchut and kingship? So the answer is that they're both associated with the feminine aspect. Both understanding or intuition and kingship are more connected to the feminine. And the question is why? So understanding and that attribute of bina is really the place where a person is able to intuitively understand something. And intuition is more of a feminine attribute than male. A male likes to think concretely, and he has the facts in front of him, and he's able to understand the facts and act upon what the facts are in front of him. But the woman quite often could say, well, I feel like this should be this, or it should be like that. Or a woman more often has a feeling. It says, the Talmud tells us that a woman is actually able to decipher who the guests are, and is able to say, well, this guest is like that guest is like that. Or the male is like, yeah, they're all good, everybody's good, or whatever. The female is able to really intuitively feel the needs of the person who's walking through the door, because the woman is associated with bina more than the male. And malchut is kingship. So malchut is essentially the end all. It's the culmination of the Yud Kei Vav process. It's the end of the Chochmah Bina, of the intelligence and understanding and intuition and emotions. And at the end, we come to a level of concreteness, of almost of action. And that action is actually associated with receiving from the realms above it. So we have Bina and we have Malchut, which are more associated with female. And both are the Hey. And very interesting to see that the letter Hey actually is the letter of manifestation, where Bina manifests itself, that it's able to take, and almost like the male is Chachma and the woman is Bina, and is able to, almost like the combination of the two, the Hey is able to give birth to emotions. So even when we take a look at the letter Hey, it's almost like a storage house. It's able to take, and it's built almost like it's built from the level, from, there's above, and then there's what's on the side, and then there's the connection, which almost takes us to the next level. So so it stores within it, and is able to receive and then bear fruit and then create. Malchut is the same way. Malchut is all about creation. It receives, but then it creates, and that is more associated with the feminine, receiving from the male, right, and then creating, where the male gives the seed. The woman is able to after 9 months give birth to a baby. So she takes that, that seed, which is associated with Chochmah, and then Bina is that process of building it up, and then it's the same with Malchut. Malchut is giving birth to the child, and in this case, to give birth to the emotion, or up on the godly realm, giving birth to the spiritual component, which is being created. So the Zohar is going to tell us right now that the letter Hey above and the letter Hey below are the two realms of freedom. One realm is Malchut, and the other realm, the higher realm, is Bina. So which is which? Okay. So we know that every 7 years we have a time called Shemitah. And Shemitah means letting go, where the land is left fallow. We don't do any work on the land of Israel every 7 years. So next year, for example, is a Shemitah year, which we take. We absolutely don't do any work on the land, and the farmers. It says there's complete peace upon the land. They take the year off, and they're supposed to really study Torah and just really take the time to contemplate and connect to godliness. So that is called the Shemitah year. And then above that, okay, so every 7 times 7, we have a year called, after the Shemitah year, which is the 49th year, we have the Jubilee year. Sorry, I'm going to share a picture of that with you. So that is the Shemitah year. Maybe it's over here near Tzfat. This picture, and then we go to the land is completely is allowed to just be, and then we have the Jubilee year. And the Jubilee year, 7 times 7, and on that 50th year, finally the land, everything goes back to its original state. It goes back to the original owners, and the Torah tells us that all slaves are free, and anybody that owns money to another person, all that is just is forgiven. And it says that there should be a complete restoration upon the land. That's the realm of Jubilee. So essentially, Jubilee year and the Shemitah year are very similar, but the difference is that the Jubilee year is Shemitah year times 7. It's 7 times 7, and on that 50th year, we go back to the realm of complete freedom, and that complete freedom, the Torah tells us, is called Dror. It's called freedom, complete letting go of the self. That is the Dror in front of you. In Israel, they're rampant, and quite often they go into our homes, which is exactly what the Zohar tells us, that the Dror lives inside of the home and is not afraid to make its home inside of people's houses. But the significance of this bird, which is freedom within creation, it takes creation, the limited aspect of creation, and it actually calls freedom within the world, within creation, and that freedom is the freedom of the Jubilee year. So let's take a look at our text once more. So the upper freedom and lower freedom. So that meaning upper Hey, which is Bina, and lower Hey, which is Malchut. Upper freedom and lower freedom, which are sabbatical year, which is Malchut. The sabbatical year, the Shemitah year, is the sabbatical. And Jubilee, which is Bina, are as one, meaning that they clothe each other. And then Bina is called upper freedom and Malchut lower freedom. That means when they are connected, then there is both upper freedom and lower freedom, and essentially complete freedom upon the land. I want to bring this down a little bit to us in our lives. So after we read the synopsis, let's just take a look at the synopsis. Rabbi Elazar continues the theme of Bina, the 50th day, and the creation of the Torah. So that's associated with Torah. The sparrows alluded to in the title verse are the birds of the sky, the ultimate meaning of which is freedom. Freedom alludes to Bina and sparrow to Malchut. Since freedom emerges from the 50th year, Bina, the Torah that emerges from Bina, is called freedom. We are told that upper freedom is Bina or Jubilee, and lower freedom is Malchut or the sabbatical year, but both are as one. Okay, so I want to bring this down a little bit to us in our lives, how maybe we could tangibly connect to this concept. So when we talk about freedom, and we talk about everybody wants freedom, and everybody in this world wants happiness, and we're all looking for freedom. But we in this world, we have never reached a time, I think, since the creation of the world, that we've seen so much sadness, so much depression, and so much unfortunate things that we see in current events. So we're seeing quite the opposite of freedom in society, in our lives. But we're all looking for freedom, and over here, this piece of the Zohar really gives us a window, perhaps, into this place of freedom. What is freedom? Freedom, the place of 50. What is the place of 50? How can we connect to this in our lives? What is the place of 50? The place of 50 is the realm of our innermost self, which is essentially free. Everything else could be trapped, in a sense. A person's emotions are trapped based on things that they've gone through, either willingly or the way they grew up, things in the past, etc., and things that they want to work on within themselves. So that's the realm of our emotions. And our emotions, like we spoke before about the letter Vav, that letter Vav is the realm of emotions, and it's the realm of working on ourselves and coming to a sense of understanding of the emanations of the emotions. But in order to come to true freedom, we have to come to a place of understanding who we are in our innermost self. And as somebody that studies inner Torah, the ultimate truth is knowing what is our innermost self. It's a piece of godliness. It's a soul which is pure, which is connected to God. And by virtue of the connection of our soul to godliness, we are free. Because since God is free, He's the ultimate of freedom. He has the ultimate ability to impart and to connect and to manifest. So we have that ability as well within us to be, since we are a piece of God. So understanding that is already understanding, like he said, the sabbatical year. It's understanding where it comes from. It may be far away from us, but it's understanding our source. So it's almost saying, well, how do I reach that place? So I have to, every 7 years, and it's basically working and forcing myself not to do any work. But the Jubilee year is quite different. The Jubilee year is that place of actually living in that place of freedom completely. And that's the ultimate level of freedom. Now, how do we reach that place of Jubilee year? So it's first going through the Shemitah year and going through cycles of the Shemitah year. The realm of the Jubilee year is really the realm of somebody who has perfected himself, has worked on himself. It's quite extensively. But it is attainable, and the Zohar tells us that it is attainable by a person connecting to Torah, connecting to the mitzvot of the Torah, the edicts of the Torah, and the mitzvot of the Torah. By doing that, then he actually becomes engraved with the truth of the Torah. And since the Torah is the realm of 50, so then the person could also elevate himself to the realm of 50 by their connection to Torah. So I'd like to end off with a story about a holy man, a tzaddik called Rabbi Meir of Przemysl. That was the city where he lived in, I believe it was Hungary. He was a holy man that was actually had a number of antagonists that for some reason didn't think that he was the real deal. So they bothered him, and Rabbi Meir would always, he would say he would not do anything about it. So one time, it was the custom of Rabbi Meir to walk, far distances to go to the mikvah, to go to the ritual bathhouse, to immerse himself in, to purify himself every day before the morning prayers. So Rabbi Meir would have to walk over a hill, or almost like a mountain, in order to get to the other side where the lake was. And the lake was all like frozen. And in the wintertime in Hungary, or everything froze over, and he would have to walk over this hill, which was quite steep and was very dangerous. So one day he did that, and the antagonist said, it can't be that he's going to the ritual bathhouse, to the mikvah. He's an older man. He's probably just pretending that he's there. We're gonna bust. We're gonna find what he's really doing, and we're gonna tell everybody that he's a fake. He's not for real, etc. So they get up early, and they follow Rabbi Meir going up this hill. And Rabbi Meir goes up the hill, and he's almost jogging up the hill, just gliding up, and then he glides back down, and he hears like a rustle behind him. He looks back, and he sees it's these two guys who are following him, and he's wondering, what are they doing here? And they trip and fall and roll down the mountain, and he's not sure who they are, what happened to them. But I think he was after he immersed in the mikvah. He said to them, like, "What, are you guys okay? Like, why are you here?" So they said, "Well, we wanted to see if you were really going to the mikvah." So they asked him, and I'm sorry, I think it was a couple of days after they recuperated, probably. They asked him, "How did you do it? We followed you. We're much younger, or much more in shape than you. How did you do it? You made it to the mikvah with ease, with no problem." So he said, when somebody is connected up above, he does not fall down below. And he called himself, he said, Meirel, that's what he said about himself, is connected up above, so he doesn't fall down below. And it's a beautiful lesson for us that when we're connected up above, when we're connected to the realm of Bina, we're connected to our soul, we're connected to who we are up above, we don't fall down below. It's only when we take a look at the disjointed reality around us and take it for face value, and become afraid or awed by the magnitude of this world, that we fall, we stumble, because we forget who we are. And our strength is immense. We have an immense amount of power due to the fact that we're connected to God, to the infinite. And when we're connected up above, we do not fall down below. So I'd like to wish everybody a good Shabbos, a Shabbat Shalom, and may the merit of Moshe Rabbeinu, tonight is his Yortzeit, is the anniversary of his death and his birthday, and the merit of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai stand for us, and may we have immense blessings to be connected up above, and may all of our dealings down below be done with complete ease, and may we merit to see the ultimate redemption, where the complete jubilee year and the sabbatical year will be here in a revealed way for us and the entire world. There'll be peace upon the world with the coming of Mashiach. So I'd like to wish everybody Shabbat Shalom and God bless, and look forward to seeing everybody next week at Experience Zohar, and may we only see revealed blessings in our lives. Shabbat Shalom.
Amen. Good Shabbos.